When you release a tamed animal into the wild, it adapts to its surroundings. Joygasm! Hi and welcome to the Ruby Tuesday. My name is Ruben and this is my review for Netflix's original series, well it is an original now, Top Boy. So Top Boy has 2 seasons. The first season has 4 episodes and the second season has 4 episodes and the third season apparently has 10. I guess that's what happens when you get on Netflix. Drake has bought the show and Netflix serve as an executive producer, so that's the collaboration. So season 1 of Top Boy was about the character Renell is forced to step up after his mother is committed to hospital after suffering a mental breakdown. Rex gives Sully and Duchesne 2 weeks to retrieve the stash stolen by Camille, a task that proves to be harder than originally thought. And season 1 was very much a coming of age almost, or a coming of age drug dealer story, or how to position yourself to be the top boy, hence the name of the story. And that is pretty much what Top Boy is about. It's about these many characters who want to be the top dog, the top boy, and what it means to become that, and what you need to do, and how it messes up your life. It's a character study of what goes on in the high rises in London Hackney. It's a fictional story, but I think it reflects some of the reality sometimes of what goes on. So season 2 aired in 2013, and now Duchesne is the top boy. He must deal with the repercussions while also attempting to stay ahead of his new rival, his one-time friend Sully. So all the storyline is basically at the summer house estate. And at the end of season 2, without doing major spoilers because it may be your first time even hearing of this series, it ends with one of the biggest cliffhangers that I've ever seen on TV. The characters are dispersed, something horrific happens, and if you watched it in 2013, you've been waiting a long time to see what happens with these characters, what's going to happen in this world. And so it starts off with Duchesne in America and Sully in jail, and basically the story follows these 2 characters again, whilst introducing others as they try to become top boy again. But what makes this show great is the way it's filmed and acted and scripted. The quality of entertainment is probably amongst the best British TV series you're likely to see. The actors in here are phenomenal. Some of the most emotionally riveting scenes I've seen in TV for a long time, especially in this season. I was just gobsmacked at some of the scenes that I wasn't expecting to be emotionally involved in, but it's so tense and so heightened just suddenly.
We're back, bro.
The series obviously builds up in moments, and there's storylines that go one way that can be predictable, but the way they go about executing it, I think, is just flawless. It's like watching a long film at the cinema, because it's that quality. The cinematography looks stunning. It's the only time where I've seen shaky handheld camera and I've gone, that actually works for this scene, because it did. It heightened the tension. It wasn't all over the place. It wasn't overused. It was just used exactly right, how it was meant to be used. Not like, well, this is how we see. And that is basically how I see this series. It's filmed well. I feel like they've been given a bigger budget and more scope on Netflix to kind of go to places they haven't gone before, literally, like Jamaica. And so it feels bigger, but at the same time, they've kept to the core content, I guess, of what the story's always been about. It's this area of summer house and who's the top boy there. And then you have these characters that intermingle with each other, quite harshly sometimes. It's just really riveting to watch. It's also gut-punching. I don't know if it's something that you want to binge, although it's easily bingeable because every episode is quite heavy-hitting. It's gritty London drama at its best. It's some of the best acting and storytelling I've seen. You want to know what happens next. When the episode finishes, you're like, with some of the scenes, you're like, you feel heavy, but you got to know what happens next. So easily bingeable. At the same time, maybe you want to give yourself a bit of a break and go watch a comedy like Dodgeball in between some of the episodes. I love the way this is directed as well. I feel like the director has directed these actors to bring out the best of them in character, because you so believe what these characters are going through. It often reflects back at society, especially now. Duchesne and Sully feel like characters that are fish out of water, even though they are totally from that area and they fit back end, kind of. But because they've been away for so long, Duchesne goes to a coffee shop and buys a coffee, and he's like, why is everybody queuing up for coffee? You can feel his confusion at what his home has become. And Sully has also got to deal with the repercussions of not being on top. They both have to deal with that, what it means to them for their plan not to have worked out as such right now. And now they're trying to build that up again, and realize that they're in different places. They have more wisdom, I guess, at how to be those characters they wanted to be. And the other side of that, they're family men. And I love the reflection of that as well. So they almost have two separate lives. A lot of these characters have two separate lives. One is their family life that they desperately trying to keep safe, because it's an area that is violent. It is horrendous at times. But then their family units are so precious to them. And the show shows that. So you're immediately invested in these characters. Doesn't matter who they are, really, because or which side of the fence they are, because they show the characters' families. You get to see what the kids do at school. You get to see how they interact with each other. It's character building, it's arc building. And then you show the other side of the life of drug dealing, of violence, and what it means to kind of just be a young man or woman in a situation that you find yourself in, thrust upon them sometimes, and how hard they're desperately trying to cling with some sort of semblance of life, and what it means to get something, whether you have to go into drug violence, or what it means if you're trying to avoid that, and how hard that is. It takes a really good look at, like a snapshot at partly of the reality of what that means. I thought it was a really interesting, well-directed take on that. It doesn't glorify it at all, because you can see the consequences of it, but it is some of the best riveting TV I've seen in a long time. If you haven't seen any of Top Boy, definitely go back and watch those two seasons. I'm not sure you can watch the third season without watching the first two, because it does have a big arc. I love what they've done with the third season. I'm not sure that it's perfect, though. I would like you to answer this question for me. Do you think it's taken anything away having more seasons? Because normally it's a contained story of 4 episodes, and with the 10, I'm not so sure that that's a good idea, or maybe they just got space to be creative. I'm going to give season 3 of Top Boy an A. Thanks so much for watching this review. Let me know in the comments below what you thought about it. Are you excited about it? But most of all, until next time, remember, live long and Tuesday.